What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Feud. I am Stone with Mason, and look who's back with us today. It's old Paul Cottontail 35 over there, man. We missed you so much. How is it going, Paul?
Long
What's
time no
going
see.
on?
No excitement at all from Paul. He's just back and ready to work.
Wow.
We're here to talk about our Waiver Target Tuesdays, but before we get into that, like the video. It's going to be a good one. I promise you. Comment down below who your waiver pickups of the week are and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video. We are in the second week of the playoffs, and yes, you better believe that we're in the playoffs in all our leagues. We're totally not lying about that at all. But hey, the one that really mattered to me, I'm still in, so that's all that matters to me. So, subscribe to the channel. We give you guys good content Monday through Friday, and we are going to start trying to live streaming every Saturday, but not this Saturday, obviously, for Christmas reasons.
Oh my God.
Let's just get into today's video, though, huh? Some waiver targets. First person we're going to talk
Alright.
about is Jeff Wilson. Who wants to take a little bit of talking points on Jeff Wilson for us?
I've got a little bit to say on Jeff Wilson, guys. First of all, he's rostered in 44.6% of leagues. That's a little high, so might not have the chance to grab him. But whenever this guy has the opportunity to be the lead back in San Fran, he does great. He had 21 carries, 110 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 catches for 19.9 fantasy points the other day. The dude's awesome. With Elijah Mitchell's injury status, he's been up and down all year. If you can snag this guy, if you need a running back, go ahead, pick him up. It is a safe bet, guys. That's all I got to say on him, though. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our next guy on the list. He literally kind of even looks like him a little bit. Lamar Jackson Jr., Tyler Huntley, guys. 4.9% rostered. Lamar Jackson not doing so hot injury-wise. That ankle injury pushed him back. He's had some up and down things this year. But when this guy, Tyler Huntley, has came in, he has performed. I made a big mistake last week. I did not pick up Tyler Huntley in a league where I had Lamar Jackson. I decided to pick up Jimmy Garoppolo. I was like, Tyler Huntley is playing against Green Bay. Green Bay's got a good defense. Honestly, I was like, okay, he's had tape on him. Teams are going to figure him out real quick. No, this guy came in. He looked just as good as Lamar Jackson. Had 215 passing yards, two touchdowns, 73 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 35.9 fantasy points. The guy was electric. Do not be scared of him. If you have Lamar Jackson, he is an absolute must-to-have right now. If not, just go pick him up anyways.
I want to add something. I believe I saw a stat that Tyler Huntley was the first. It might have been the first Ravens quarterback to ever have 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns in the same game. Yes, Lamar Jackson has never done that before. Tyler Huntley was the first one to do it.
I'm curious to see if this guy gets any offers.
They were talking about that in the game when he was playing. They were like, Tyler Huntley is giving himself a chance at a starting role next year in the NFL, and deservedly so. He looks pretty solid. I mean, you can tell he's never played before. He's got that rust sometimes, but he looks good. I like him.
Have the Ravens re-signed Lamar Jackson or given him a contract extension?
The Ravens are not going to get rid of
Not
Lamar
yet,
Jackson.
but yeah, they're not. I mean,
Get rid of Lamar. He's cheaper. He's a cheaper Lamar, man.
All right, no. We're going on the next guy. You've ruined that topic. There's no point talking about it anymore. We're going to move on to our next waiver guy of the week. Ronald Jones. Only rostered in 23.7% of leagues. Me and Mason have stashed him since literally week 1 when we drafted him because we thought, hey, maybe this guy sometime breaks out. Well, with the Leonard Fournette injury, Ronald Jones is here to play, guys. 8 carries, 63 yards, 2 catches, 8 yards, 9.1 fantasy points after Rojo goes down. Those are not stats to laugh at. I think Ronald Jones is the #1 waiver target of the week if you are in your playoffs and you don't have a running back for sure. Ronald Jones, he's going to become a 15, 16-point guy. But I will say this matchup this week scares me. He's playing against Carolina, and Carolina has shut down some of the best running backs in the NFL rushing-wise. And Ronald Jones has never been a guy that catches the ball very often, so maybe you can't rely on him this week. Not 100% sure.
Oh, we'll go ahead and move on. Craig Reynolds. He's somebody that I can almost guarantee nobody even knew about up until 2 weeks ago. DeAndre Swift goes down. Jamal Williams is out due to the virus. They got a couple other guys. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce Godwin, his last name.
Imigwikwe.
Yep, we'll go with that. You got who's the other guy over there? Jameer Jefferson. I know they add a little bit more special teams value. But this kid that they call Netflix over there, Craig
You
Reynolds.
were gonna say this guy they call Craig.
I was gonna somehow say that, but I was mixing up what I was trying to say. They call Craig Reynolds Netflix, because in the beginning of the year they had brought him in mid camp as a just kind of a tryout thing, and they had a couple people that weren't going to be able to play in the preseason. And so they called this kid up. He came in. He got they said Deuce Staley basically said he got a couple yards and a touchdown out of it. And they ended up signing him to the practice squad because of it. They liked the way he ran. And again, throughout the year, he hasn't got any chances up until a couple weeks ago with the injuries. And like I said, people down with the virus right now. But he's rostered in 12% of leagues. In the last 2 weeks, he's had 37 carries, 195 yards, zero touchdowns, sadly, 24.6 fantasy points. And this past week, specifically 12.7. Just another quick thing to say about him. He is second all time as a rookie running back in the most yards he's produced in his first two games in Detroit's history. The other one was Billy Sims back in 1980, and he was the first overall pick. He had 295 yards. Um, so this kid in his first two games, he's putting up points. He's producing yards, and I think he's going to continue to do so.
Gonna be
So
better than
if
Barry
you have,
Sanders.
nah, let's not get that far. But I do believe if you need to look at some running back help, depending on whether you had Leonard Fournette go down, you don't have a chance at a guy like Rojo. Just any type of injuries on this, or maybe you're looking for a flex guy. I think Craig Reynolds is going to be a perfect fit. We'll go ahead and move on. Gabriel Davis is rostered in 17% percent of leagues right now. He's had 4 touchdowns in the past 3 games, 85 yards and 2 touchdowns specifically last week against Carolina. He's produced 25.5 fantasy points. And I think a lot of this kind of, I mean, we seen it last year as a rookie. Josh Allen kind of leaned on him. He got him involved in the passing game along with, oh, I'm blanking on number one, Stephon Diggs. But again, he's doesn't necessarily have to be a very important guy for this offense. They've incorporated Cole Beasley a lot. He's missed time this year. And specifically, I think why Gabriel Davis is stepping up is because the absence of Emmanuel Sanders. So again, this is kind of the same thing that goes along with the lines of Craig Reynolds. If you need a flex position, or you've just had injuries and you've been dealt a bad hand the past couple weeks, I think Josh Allen's going to continue to rely on him, and he might be one of the guys that helps you make a fantasy playoff push.
Yeah, I agree. But also at the same time, there's another receiver that's there that I would personally go for if he's available in your waivers over Gabriel Davis, and it's a guy that we have now had on this list for 3 straight weeks, and in those 3 straight weeks, he's been on top of it every single week. You know why? Because it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he is still only rostered in 29% of leagues. I I don't know what more he has to do to like get people to start picking him up, but just start picking him up. The guy's a stud. Detroit's decimated with injuries, and he is all they got left. He's got double-digit targets in the last 3 weeks now, and then 75 yards in all 3 of those weeks as well. 2 touchdowns in those weeks as well. The guy has been an absolute target monster, an absolute monster in general. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. Start picking him up, please. It is frustrating me to see him available. Me and Mason drafted him in our league and never dropped him. That's how much confidence we had in this guy early. You can just see the talent in him. Amon-Ra is going to be a guy to fear in the future.
Dude, honestly, he's. I don't want to say like he's keeper worthy, but if you're in some weird keeper formats where you keep guys like where you drafted past the 4th round or something like that, definitely keeper worthy. He is making a name for himself. He is one of the better wide receiver rookies to come out of the draft this year. Super consistent. I just pick him up in case you have like a multiple keeper league this year, and then you make a crazy statement and you're like, oh, I want to keep this guy next year. I know it's worth it, even if you're not in the playoffs anymore.
All I do
Just
know
think
is
about it.
that you need to pick him up right now. But that is all we had time for today. In our video, we had 6 of our top waiver options of the week, but Paul is cutting me off.
I'll throw something in there real quick. So, like you said, when we started this stone, about 3 weeks ago, Amon-ra was on our waivers target. And I've had him for, I think, about 4 or 5 weeks now in one of the leagues, the only league that I'm still in the playoffs in. I've had him in multiple leagues, but I wasn't in contention. And I ended up sitting him. And thankfully, I was able to squeak out a win, a pretty ugly one at that. It was like 84-76. But I had him on my bench, and he scored 23.5 points. I am not going to make that same mistake a second time. So he will definitely be in my lineup one way or the other, whether it's a starting spot or the flex position. But like we talked about, these are players that we're trying to give you guys advice on that can help you win a championship, not just be in the playoffs, not maintain the playoff spot. These are guys that are going to produce, that are going to step up for their teams. And hopefully Amon-ra is one of those guys.
He will be one of those guys. I guarantee you that right now. But that, like I said before, is all we got time for now. If you guys enjoyed the video, like it. Comment down below who your waiver pickups of the week are. We're in the playoffs, so waivers are getting kind of thin now. And if you're fighting for a Super Bowl, I would assume Amon-ra is probably picked up by most teams that are fighting for a Super Bowl. But 29% rostered, who knows? And also subscribe to the channel. Why not, right? If you enjoyed the video and you're still here, it means you enjoyed it, right? So why not just subscribe to the channel and listen to more of us, you know? We got videos we post each and every single day. And I can't really concentrate right now. My dog keeps biting my foot, and it's like really throwing me off, guys. So if this outro seems a little all over the place, that's probably why. But subscribe.
I feel like I started
please.
it. It's my fault.
Subscribe, please. But I'm going to give things over to Mason. He's going to kick us out of this video with his signature outro.
Fantasy Few out, baby. Let's go.